Time for stories. Let's go see Naya and Maya, two little girls who are such good friends. Naya is a little girl just like many others. She loves painting beautiful fairies, enormous butterflies, and flowers of all sorts of colors. Sometimes she likes to dance ballet, and there are other times she likes to dance samba and other such dances. She adores flowery skirts, unusual shoes, small fancy hair clips, and green tides that remind her of the grass in the forest. Sometimes she loves everything pink, just like the roses in her granny's garden. But above all, she loves her friend Maya, who is crazy and funny, and whose name is just like hers, almost the same, apart from one letter, just one. Maya and Naya like to come to school at the same time every day, and as soon as they see each other, they like to hug and whisper secrets into each other's ears. But last Monday, things went differently between them. While the teacher was reading a story to the class, Maya suddenly grabbed the orange hair clip with the tiny green feathers that was on Naya's head. Naya got very, very angry. Not only because Maya had grabbed her hair clip, but also because that really hurt. So she suddenly frowned, crossed her arms angrily over her chest, and shouted at Maya, "I'm never going to talk to you again, Maya. Do you hear me? I'm very, very cross with you." She then turned her back and stomped away. "But it was just a joke," Maya replied sweetly. "I did not mean to hurt you. I really didn't." Naya did not want to listen to her friend anymore. She turned her back to her once more, and angrily she closed her little ears with her hands. "I can't hear you. See? I just can't," she said. So she looked at the wall instead of her friend. On Tuesday morning, Maya was the first to come to school. She brought a lovely orange rose from the garden. She sat on a little bench and waited for her friend. When she saw Naya, she smiled and ran to give her the rose and say, "Sorry." But as soon as she touched Naya on the shoulder, Naya pushed her back coldly, and glaring at her, she said, "Do you know what? Never means never. I'll never forgive you." And she stomped away again. Then Maya walked to the storybook corner and sat on the floor feeling very sad. She got hold of a big soft cushion and hugged it tight, looking at her friend, sadness written all over her face. "Naya," the teacher said softly, "enough with your anger now. Maya said she's sorry. Why won't you forgive her?" "I don't want to forgive her. I want to be angry. I don't want to be friends with her anymore," she replied and turned her back. "But it does you no good to keep feeling angry. You see, if you don't let go of your anger, it turns into something nasty, which hurts you more than it hurts anyone else," said the teacher now. "I don't care. I want to keep feeling angry forever and ever," she said, and walked away. As soon as Naya went home that day, she felt a strange scratching in her tummy. When she reached out to touch her tummy, she thought she saw a little dragon smiling at her and then winking cunningly. Then she thought she heard him sing a strange song to her. "I'm your own anger, your own little dragon, who loves to live inside you and scratch, scratch, scratch." Nobody else in her home saw the little dragon, nor did they hear his strange song. On Wednesday, when Naya went to school, she saw Maya playing with the other children. She started feeling really sad, but then suddenly remembered her anger again. So she frowned this time, pouted, and stayed angry. But she also stayed alone, very alone. Suddenly, she felt that peculiar scratching in her tummy once more, but this time it felt more intense, and she saw the little dragon again. Only now she thought he looked kind of bigger, and she heard his song again, though it was a little louder this time. "I'm your own anger, your own little dragon, who loves to live inside you and hurt. On Thursday, at story time, Maya happily ran to where Naya was sitting and sat on the chair right next to her. And she smiled sweetly at Naya. But Naya began to smile and then changed her mind. So up she jumped, scowling at Maya all the while, and quickly went to sit by Christina and Anna. Now Maya's eyes welled up. Tears started running down her sad face like little streams. Then Christina and Anna got very angry with Naya for not letting her anger fly through the window, for not forgetting the fight. Now they were the ones who did not want to play with her. And soon Naya sat on her chair alone and felt the little dragon growing inside her once more and hurting her once more. And she heard him sing his little song, but this time it was louder. I'm your own anger, your own little dragon who loves to live inside you and hurt. She lowered her head to look at her tummy and saw the little dragon looking at her, but somewhat differently this time. And she thought she could actually see little stars flying all around. And instead of his usual song, this time his song was different. I'm so happy. I'm so lucky. I did it. Your friends are gone now. I did it. You're all mine and nobody else's friend. Then he opened his mouth and told her another song. My dear little Naya, my witchcraft has won. You stayed with your anger, and friends you have none. Suddenly, in Naya's little mind, a bell rang, and she saw, as if in a magic mirror, herself now all alone, except for the little dragon, nobody else. And she saw the dragon laughing, and she saw herself sad. Oh, so sad. No way. That won't be at all fun. Having no friends at all, apart from this dragon that hurts me all the time. What do I do now? What? Just then, a beautiful orange butterfly flew in through the window. She flew around the class just once and then hovered close to Naya's little ear. None of the other children could see her. Then Naya thought she heard the butterfly whisper into her ear. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Your friend is sorry that she made you angry, and she wants to be friends with you. That's why she said sorry. So what you say? Wouldn't it be great if you could forget what happened? Just think about it. Soon, a little ladybird flew through the window. A ladybird so tiny. The children did not see her. She flew directly towards Naya and sat near her other little ear. And she whispered to her, do you know what? I think that when someone says sorry to you, it is like giving you a present. And what do you do with presents? Then the butterfly and the ladybird flew towards Maya, just for 1 minute, all around her little head, and then together they flew away through the window, just like two friends. Naya suddenly understood what they tried to tell her, and she got up and ran to Maya, and then she hugged her really, really tight, and without saying anything at all, she gave her friend a big kiss. And that is when Maya smiled, a smile so full of joy. She squeezed Naya in her arms and looked at her straight in the eyes and stroked her hair tenderly. Without saying anything, there was no need for it. You will be wondering, I guess, what has become of the little dragon? Well, what do you think has happened to him? I'm going to tell you. First of all, the dragon suddenly started to get smaller and smaller and smaller until he became really, really tiny. Then he climbed into a beautiful hot air balloon and quickly flew away, high up in the sky, really, really high. until he was nothing but a little dot. And there he disappeared among the clouds. So, what have you done with your little dragon? Have you managed to get rid of him, or is he still around?
We nurture children's love for books and reading through our Happy Meal Readers program, igniting their imagination and creating beautiful moments for the whole family.